Hello. Would you look at who came to join us? Jack Jack. Can you say hello? Oh, he's touching my computer. Yes, he is. Little demon child. Look at him. Look at this little boy. Look, he has a little Charles V jaw. Yeah. Okay, you ready to just lay down? Just lay down. I need you to lay down. Good boy. Okay, so Ivan the Fourth. In your notes, if you were absent today, just so you can see where you're at, we dealt with Charles V, and now we're starting Ivan the Fourth. Okay? Okay. Ivan the Fourth, bless his heart, looks like this. What happened to my hair? Do you want down? Is that what you're moving around for? Okay. Ivan the Fourth, he becomes king of Russia. What the heck? At the age of 3. Yeah, you heard me right. 3. Oh, you know what? That's not really true. There isn't really a Russia yet. I should make that, I don't know, differentiation. Um, we dealt with Kiev, the trade city of Kiev, yeah, and then right now we do have Moscow, okay, which is like the kingdom of Muscovy, okay. His father, Ivan the Fourth's father, declared himself to be king of the Rus, R-U-S. The Rus are like a mixed people group from like Norsemen, like Vikings mixed with Slavic peoples, and they formed the Rus, Russians. Okay. Well, his father declares himself to be king of the Rus, so that's what's kind of gonna come down the pike with Ivan the Fourth. All right. So it's gonna kind of turn into Russia. That being said, look at this painting. That's bad art. I don't even know what to think about that art. Um, Russia right now, they have not had a renaissance. They are behind technologically, educationally. I'm going to move this back. I feel like it's really close to me. They are behind. Okay. And you can see that in the art. We have art that looks, again, like very medieval sort of in nature. And we have like this dripping motion of his nose and his forehead. It's just bad art. Unfortunately, we don't have any paintings from his direct life. This is the closest. And I believe it was done a few years after he died. There's a ton of paintings of Ivan IV. A ton. Because his life is interesting. But they're all done later. We do have this. In like, oh, whoa, where'd it go? What? Did I not save it? It's right here. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't go to it. Okay. We do have this. This right here is, I mean, it's a statue, but it's based on his, like what's left of his skeleton. I'm surprised as well, because I know what you're thinking. 1500s and we have a skull that good. This is that technology that I've shown you before, okay, where they can take a skeleton and like figure out kind of what he looked like. I agree. Skeletons in that good of shape? I don't know. I don't know. I just know that his grave was dug up. I don't know, like 1960s or 70s, and this was done based on his skeleton and what people said about him, like what people wrote about how he looked. I mean, it looks kind of like a lot of the other paintings. Not this one. You're gonna see a lot more paintings in a minute. Yikes! But I don't know. However you want to view him in your mind's eye, whatever. I mean, this one may be more fun. Yeah. That being said, Ivan the Fourth has two. very distinct periods of rule. Okay. He has what is known as his good period when things are going pretty well for him. And then he has what is known as his, you guessed it, his bad period. It's really unfortunate that he's more remembered for his bad period. Because, yes, this is the guy who you've heard of being called Ivan the Terrible. But, guys, that's not his name. We didn't call Bad King John Bad King John. That's not his name. Ivan the Fourth. If you put in an essay or a test short answer, Ivan the Terrible, it might be -1. Unless you back up why he's terrible. Okay? So just be aware of that. Ivan the Fourth. That being said, Ivan the Fourth becomes king when he's 3 years old. What? 3. Yeah, you didn't hear me wrong. 3. Okay, guys, think about a 3-year-old. Imagine a 3-year-old. Foster, my nephew, is 3 in 2020. If you're watching these videos like after 2020, he's older, obviously. But in 2020, my nephew Foster is 3. You've seen pictures of him. They still kind of or walk with that weird kind of toddler waddle. Yeah? They still like, they talk in a way that I have no idea what they're saying. Yeah? They still are like potty trained. Kinda. Yeah? They still have some accidents in the bed at 3. Guys, they only eat chicken nuggets at 3. Oh, and maybe mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese. Yeah? Y'all, 3, he's king. How in the world do you rule when you're 3? Yeah, that's an issue, isn't it? Well, you can't rule when you're 3 years old. You can't. We're going to see other kings who are young, though. Okay? When you have, like when your father dies and you become king at a very young age, you have what is called a regent. Regent. I don't think I put it in your notes. Every year, I think I really need to make that a vocab word, and then I never do. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe one day I will. I don't know why I have 2 different things here. I don't know. Okay. Um, his regent. His regent. Oh, I didn't tell you what a regent is. Sorry. A regent is somebody that is supposed to rule for you, but teach you how to rule at the same time. They don't just do it all for you. They teach you how as you grow up, teaching you how, like a father would teach you how. Okay, like dad would say, okay, son, this is how you do it. You don't just want the regent to do it for you, or you still, as a 20-year-old, don't know what you're doing. Well, unfortunately, that's what we see a lot of the time with regents. A lot of the time, the regent is just going to do it for you. Also, unfortunately, when you are of age, and y'all, of age, like for us in America, of age is like when you are an adult, 18. In theory, no, I was about to say something else. Ignore that. The problem with of age is like in every kingdom, it's kind of different. Okay, so like in some situations it's 16, in some it's 18, in some it's 15. Okay, and in theory, when you're of age, your regent is supposed to just move over and give you your kingdom to rule by yourself. Now they're still there to like help you and guide you and advise you and stuff, but you're supposed to do it yourself. And unfortunately, what we see a lot of the time with a lot of regents is they don't do that. They continue to hold on to power way past when they should have let you have it. It's not right, but it's the way it is. That being said, Ivan IV's regent, whenever his father dies and he's 3, is his mother. Okay? She is ruling for him and teaching him how. But honestly, when he's 3, she's probably not teaching him a lot. Okay? Well, she suddenly ends up poisoned. We think. It could be anything, but I mean, poison, probably. That's the story. And she ends up poisoned. And so who's going to be his regent now? Well, the Russian nobles, they're called boyars. The Russian nobles all get together and they're like, hey, why don't we all share that responsibility? Because that's a great idea. I get how the nobles would all be sitting around a table and they say, hey, why don't we all share? We can agree on things and then we can tell him to do things. I get it. I get where that idea is coming from. Don't let one person have control. Everybody shares the democratic viewpoint, except that's not what's going to happen in any way, shape, or form. Okay. A lot of these noble families in the Russian area at this point, yeah, they don't really like each other. Okay. In fact, they have completely opposing viewpoints of how Ivan should be ruling. So, like one family, and y'all, he's like, I don't know, 9 or something. I don't think he's 10 yet when his mom dies. But um, 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 like one noble family will say, hey, Ivan, you need to pass this law. Well, then another noble family comes along and says, hey, they're bad, they're evil, they're not telling you right. You need to do this instead. So they actually have like opposing political ideas and they don't even like agree on anything. So Ivan is constantly like just pulled in every which direction because every different noble family is trying to get him to do something different. How's he going to grow up feeling about the nobility if that's what they're doing to him when he's young? Yeah, they're not gonna, or he isn't gonna like them much. Well, when he's 16, he declares himself Tsar. Okay, look at this word right here. CZAR. We didn't talk about Rome because this is modern, world history modern. But Caesar in Rome was like Julius Caesar's title, right? Well, after Julius Caesar, Romans started using that as a title that basically means emperor. Okay? Caesar, emperor. You're going to have some other words that mean emperor. Caesar, and this is one of them. CZAR. If you spell CZAR really fast, it actually sounds like Caesar. CZAR, CZAR, Caesar, CZAR. See? Okay. The word isn't said czar, like you hear people say all the time. It actually is kind of said with a TS. That CZ is like a tss. I think it's fun. Tsar. Tsar. You kind of push it out. It has a little bit of power to it. Tsar. Okay. We in America like to change everything. And I actually don't know if it's American spelling or if it's English and we stole it from the English. But we do like to change everything in America. Like pronunciations and stuff. We often you'll see this spelled over here TSAR because that's how it's said. Tsar, TSAR or CZAR. It's not a bad idea to put TSAR in parentheses. Look, if I let's sneeze. Sorry. Wait, what happened? Here we go. Look, I Googled CZAR. But look, Tsar. Yeah, I was wondering if somebody asked the question. Both are accurate spellings. That being said, it's really not a bad idea to add TSAR because you could see that on the AP test and be like, what is this word? But you do know it, just spelled different. Okay. Okay, that being said, he declares himself Tsar, okay, which means emperor of Russia. That means like all the Russians. Okay. Russia is kind of officially a thing. Y'all, it already kind of has been. It just hasn't really been called that up to this point. It was always just called Muscovy, Moscow. All right. That being said, Ivan also, I told you, he has two very distinct periods. Ivan also enters his good period of rule at this time. Okay, I want you to look at the dates. His good period, okay, lasts how long? I suck at math, but I can do this. Yeah. Look how long his bad period lasts. Which one's longer? One of the things that happens with his good period is he marries his first wife. He's going to have several. I don't remember how many, but he's going to have several. He marries his first wife. Listen to me. Anna Stasia. It is not Anastasia. I just told you in America, we kind of we kind of change pronunciations of everything. Anastasia. You don't call Anna from Frozen Anna. Well, why not? Because that's not her name. Anastasia. Yes. Yeah, there is another Anastasia that we will talk about for like 2 seconds. If you see this name and immediately you get all excited because it happens every year, because of the little like cartoon movie called Anastasia, and it has Rasputin in it, and it has that little bat. Yeah, this isn't her. No, we'll get to her later. Okay, just be aware that is not true. That's Hollywood or Disney, or it's not Disney, is it? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not historical. Not, but we'll get there. So that's a different Anastasia. Okay. That being said, he marries Anastasia. Okay, and has two sons. Things are going great. And again, he'll have a lot of other wives, but I don't remember how many or any of their names or anything. But things are going great. He has two sons. He has a wife who he likes a lot, and like both boys are named Ivan. Conceited? Yeah. No, it's just what they did. But here's a painting of Anastasia. Again, done after the fact. Okay, after her life. This is a painting of her. What do you think? Okay. He also decides that he wants to rule with a fair law code. We've seen this before. Fair law code does not mean people are going to get a say. It does not, it's not a democratic version of ruling. Fair law code means punishments and crimes are going to be considered the same for peasants and nobility. Ivan doesn't love his nobility. Not at all. They all tried to control him in opposing ways when he was a kid. Okay. Some of the some of the noble families were really against his marriage to Anastasia, and he's like, I'm gonna marry her. So he doesn't really like his nobility at all. Okay. That being said, this fair law code, if we torture in this country, we torture nobles too. He's like, please, nobles, I beg you, do one thing. Guys, the peasants are going to love him for doing this. The peasants are like, he's with us. He likes us. Cool. Things are good for him at first. He also goes on like a million different wars and starts adding land. I think I probably have a map. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry. He starts adding land. Did I make her bigger? I can't. There we go. There we go. Let me do this. Let me make my big old head smaller. Okay, so he starts adding land to the size of Russia. Okay, y'all, it's not going to be as big as you're used to. Okie dokie? Okay, this right here where Moscow is, see this purple where Moscow is? That was like Muscovy, the kingdom of Muscovy. This fan, I'm going to have to turn it off because it is driving me insane with my hair. It's just going everywhere. Or I'll just put my hair up. which I never do. So if I do that, count yourself lucky. Okay. This purple though right here, Muscovy. Yeah? All right. Ivan is going to start moving a little bit. Do you see this right here? Not the yellow. Don't look at the yellow. Look at our dates. Look at Ivan's dates again. You got to do your analyzing. Okay, 1530, 1584. Okay, so is this him or is that his? So we have all this already. Okay, Ivan the Fourth does all of this green. It's not a ton, but it's already a pretty impressive region. Guys, at this point, I mean, if you look at, you can't see it because I don't have a map of both, but if you look at the land like the size of France, I mean, if this right here is Poland, this right here is Norway, okay, Sweden, Finland, right? Denmark, this right here is the Holy Roman Empire. That's huge, absolutely huge. All right, here you have Japan over here. Of course, it's all weird, but that's okay. Japan's drawn huge in this also, but that's okay. But this is a really big chunk of land, so pretty impressive. Okay, Peter the Great, who is in your DBQ, he's going to add to it. Catherine the Great is going to add to this. So I mean, we still have a way to take over all of this, Siberia, basically. All right, but we're doing pretty good so far. Yeah, he's on a roll. He's got a huge government. Oh, a huge kingdom, empire. He's got his nobles under control. He's got 2 sons. He's ready to go in case he dies. Well, when he dies. He's got several wives, and Anastasia is his like favorite. And then something happens. Anastasia dies mysteriously. Okay, when you have a mysterious death, you jump to conclusions. When Anastasia dies, oh, it's a little picture. That's okay. Ivan the Fourth is just heartbroken. I mean, he has other wives. Like, shouldn't be that sad, right? But he is. He likes Anastasia, and he is heartbroken, and he's mad. He immediately assumes poison, nobles. He assumes the nobles did it. He assumes they did it with poison. That's possible, you guys. Very possible. Could she have died by natural? Right? Natural causes. Certainly. Now, she was fairly young. I have to look up her dates, but she was fairly young. But regardless, this really kind of starts Ivan's bad period. All right? Immediately, he sets up his secret police. Russia's kind of known for her secret police. The KGB. Okay, listen, this isn't the KGB yet. All right, that is Cold War. So if you're like, oh, awesome, KGB, that's coming later after World War II, really. Joseph Stalin will really get that going again. Yes, they're always going to kind of be there, but Ivan the Fourth really kind of gets it going. And really, the purpose of the secret police to begin with is for Ivan to figure out who is responsible for Anastasia's death. The scary thing about the Russian secret police under Ivan the Fourth, it could have been anybody. It wasn't people, like it wasn't a specific social status. It could be peasants. Absolutely. It wasn't a specific gender. What? Girls. Y'all, you kept your normal job. So you could be the baker or the dressmaker or whatever, the farmer down the road. You keep your normal job. It's not like all of a sudden like you go into the, I don't know, the military and learn stuff. You keep your job, but you listen. You just listen. And if you hear anybody in the town square or at your shop or walking past, I don't know, your farm on this road or whatever, talking about Anastasia or talking about Ivan or talking about government or anything like that, you go to Ivan. You say, hey, so and so. Then he'll send the assassins to you. The assassins would typically stab, typically in the side. Okay. It was quick. They would stab you, rip the whatever out, the dagger out, and just walk away. So as you're like, and you're like causing a scene in the middle of town, everybody's running over to you. He's already gone. Guys, Ivan the Fourth gets this going. Of course, he doesn't find out who killed his wife, if she even was murdered, but people are going to start to hate him. He also gets a little bit weird in his older age. I've read several historians who think Ivan the Fourth may have had some mental issues, some schizophrenic tendencies, some issues, some especially like paranoia issues. Um, it's possible. You could maybe make that argument with some of his behavior that people say, but regardless, I think it's a little weird. He's having thousands of people killed by the secret police assassins. Yeah, there's a story that one of his sons, one of the Ivans, the older one, um, his let me see if I can remember this. His wife. So Ivan the Fourth's, I suck at family relations. His son's wife, so Ivan the Fourth's daughter-in-law. The story is that like she came in for like some big banquet or celebration or party or something, and he didn't think that she was dressed modestly enough according to Eastern Orthodox Christian standards. So he like kicked her or punched her or something in the stomach. Because that's what we do. She was pregnant. The story is that she miscarries as a result of Ivan's hit. I can't remember if it's a hit or a punch or whatever, but that's just an example of like his kind of weird behavior just coming out of nowhere. She's dressed immodestly. Not back then, y'all. Not back then when the church like dominated stuff. A future queen wouldn't have been allowed to. So it's just a little interesting. He starts having some issues with some people. Yeah. He has a fight with his oldest son. And in this fight with his oldest son, he picks up like a pole. I can't remember exactly what it is, some kind of thing. He hits his son with it, and his son ends up dead. Oh, I forgot about this. That's another small picture. That's his oldest son. That story says he is responsible for the death of. Hmm. I think it's really sad. That's part of why I get frustrated, like with the whole Ivan the Terrible idea, because if he did have some kind of like mental illness issue, hmm, I don't know. I just don't love the Ivan the Terrible thing. But regardless, he ends up killing his oldest son. Okay. He has all these issues with people. People think he's crazy. He is doing the secret police and killing thousands of people who may or may not be like bad crimes against Russia, right? What does that even mean? So he's just getting a little bit crazy. This right here is probably the most famous painting of Ivan the Fourth. Definitely painted making him look terrible, yes, but also making him look very in control. He is an absolute ruler. He does believe in divine right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at his face. Do you want to mess with him? Because I mean, I don't. I don't want to see him in an alley, in a dark alley. That's scary. Ivan, he's thought of, I guess, is very just, ugh, especially by his nobility. After Anastasia dies, he comes down even harder on his nobility. Again, just a painting, okay? But here we have nobles and Ivan, and they're pretty ticked off. And this has an actual name, and there's a whole actual like story that goes behind it. I don't remember it all from college, but it doesn't matter. But and look at this noble. Can you see what I'm pointing at? Oh shoot! He has total control of them. Man, because if Ivan wants you dead, oh, you will be. Kind of sad. This, I'm pretty sure I have it. Yeah. This painting that you just saw, this one where he killed his son, yeah. I want you to see a close up because I mean, it's hard to see. Plus, I didn't realize I got a small picture of it. Sorry. Look right here at this close up. I love the way the artist painted his eyes. We don't know what he was thinking because we weren't there. But if you look at the way this artist portrayed his eyes, it's absolute horror. I killed my son. No, no. We don't know if he was an evil guy and he deserves to be called terrible, or if he had some issues and maybe he doesn't. Regardless, though, he has this really, really good period where things are great, and then this really, really bad period where it's kind of all situated on controlling the nobility as much as possible, figuring out who he believes killed Anastasia with the secret police, and getting rid of anybody who he feels might be a threat to his power. Well, look at here. That's not Ivan the Fourth. When Ivan the Fourth dies, his second son takes over, and no offense, but he's not really a good ruler. Russia's gonna kind of like with Ivan, they get really strong and powerful, and then until we get to Mr. Peter the Great in the 1600s. You have a DBQ over Peter the Great. And this is one of your documents. You want to do some picture analyzation together before I make you do it by yourself? Okay. Peter the Great. Yes? I have to tell you a little bit about Peter. Did I include other pictures? Okay. Peter the Great. Okay. I was just seeing what I included. I'm going to go ahead and tell you about Peter because he's just cool. Peter the Great. His name is Petrov in Russian. Peter the Great was so tall. I don't remember, like 6'6" or something. Let's see. Oh, thank you. 6'8". That is so tall. Peter the Great. Peter the Great. Peter the Great, 6'8". Holy cow, man. So this is him. Yeah? Okay. So a little bit of analyzation of the picture. Let's go in the background. Russia, cold, snow. Yeah. Okay. Look at his outfit. What does it make you think of? Maybe military? Okay. What does he have in his hand? Sword. Okay. What's that? Oh, it's a cannon. So they have gunpowder. Okay, all right. Oh, let me move my big old head so we can do this side. Okay. Map? I wonder why he needs a map. What's Peter about to do? Yeah. just going to expand the Russian Empire. Okay. But he also does several other things. He builds a really important city called St. Petersburg, which is actually going to be the new capital. We think of Russia, the capital always being Moscow, and that's not. Through a big chunk of their history, the capital was actually St. Petersburg. Okay. He also did something else. Westernization. Yeah, this is him. Peter the Great wants to see what the West is doing. West of him, France, Germany, well, the Holy Roman Empire, but Germany, England, yeah, Italy. He wants to see what the West is doing. But if he goes as Peter, the King of Russia, he's only going to see the best of each country, and he doesn't want to see that. He wants to see what's really going on. So, story is, he dresses like a peasant and goes with some slightly lower class people, some people who can actually get along and like mix and not be noticed that they are nobility. Okay, like low nobles or like upper middle class. Okay, they go all around. What is it? Western Europe, and he brings back some ideas that are in your DBQ. And look right here. Look at. Did I put it in there? I didn't. Dang, I don't know his dates right off the top of my 1672. What? Okay, so 72 to 25. I don't know his dates right off the top of my head. 72 to 25. Okay. Okay, so look, this is Russia. Move my big old head. All right. So here we have Russia getting bigger. Yeah. But look right here. Okay. I already forgot his dates. Sheesh, man. 1672 to 1725. So Peter's portion of adding here, we have, well, I guess both of these. So he's going to add this side over here as he goes west to the rest of Europe, and he's going to add a big chunk of Siberia. Okay. You will see later we'll add this, and eventually we'll get all the way to here. That's Peter. So he adds a really big chunk of Russia to Russia. He's a military beast. Yeah. I just heard something over there. He's a military beast. He's a expansionist, westernization. You'll see all of his like educational things that he brings back with him in your DBQ. Yeah. Then we have this young lady. Be nice. Catherine the Great. She was actually originally Germanic. She's from a place called Prussia. Prussia. We're going to talk about Prussia a lot more. Prussia is eventually going to become Germany, basically. Okay. So when I say Prussia, I don't mean Russia. Prussia, German. Me, basically. Anyway, Sophie, I believe was her name. And she gets married to Peter the Third, not Peter the Great. Peter the Third. There's a big difference. Peter the Great, yeah, great. Peter the Third, ugh. Peter the Third might have had some issues as well. He wasn't adorable. He wasn't a strong ruler. She actually describes him as mean, just kind of ugh. She may or may not have been responsible. Let me change that. She may or may not have been part of the assassination plot on her own husband. But regardless, she, after he dies, takes over as queen of Russia. And her name changes from, I think it's Sophie, like I said, to Katrina, the Russian version of Catherine. You know her as, hopefully, Catherine the Great. Catherine is going to add, did I put it? Yes, even more land to Russia. Okay, A woman? She knows what she's doing. Yeah. So Russia after Ivan, right here, okay, this light green and dark green is Ivan, all right? After that, it's going to grow. And most kings are going to do something. A little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, but mostly it's going to be Peter and Catherine that are going to add the biggest chunks to Russia, okay? That leads us to France. And we'll deal with France next. Bye, guys.